Hey, welcome, my friends.
Cheer down. Sorry.
We're in the Neon Gutter. It's the same old dumb podcast. But today, it's a little different, actually. We're recording a special episode to get you some urgent news about special summer deals that we haven't seen around Vegas in a long time. And whenever we talk about spending less money, the cheapos come out of the woodwork. And of course, I'm talking about my two thrifty co-hosts, Dan.
Hey, everybody. I'm back with more influencing to do.
Excellent. And our other influencer, Matt.
I am very excited. This is Matt. I'm very excited this episode because we're going to literally drag you down into the gutter with us. You're not going to be able to resist these deals that we're about to present to you.
It's irresistible.
It is.
Well, after years of complaining to just ourselves about Vegas pricing, it seems like now just about everyone else is on board. So, Matt, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about how the affordability of Vegas has changed over the recent years?
Just in recent years, I think you've got a bunch of square-headed MBAs running the major casinos. And I swear they have an office that just is like dedicated to figuring out how can we squeeze another dime out of every customer. And so we're looking at like parking fees, resort fees. So there are some hotels that you can't even get into your room until you've already paid $75 for the parking and the resort fees on top of the hotel room. And, $60, I heard recently, $60 to check in early to a room just because it was available. Or $26 for a bottle of water that they drank in the room.
Oh, my God.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. And that person was like, I wish I knew that I could have just gotten a bottle downstairs at the Starbucks for like $7.50. It's like $7.50. That's my whole food budget.
It's true. I mean this in the best way, but Las Vegas is basically a bloated, blood-filled leech on society. I mean, in a nice way.
Yes.
But like, as long as there's blood to drink, it gets really engorged. And then, I think you'll talk more about this, Matt, but as things start to, as the vein starts to wither, the leech starts to...
Right, yeah. I mean, the corpse only has so much blood. So they really have tried to suck as much money out of the consumer as they possibly can to see how far they can push it, how much they can get away with. And people are finally pushing back. And I want to point out, there's no coincidence that this is happening with the rise of the Neon Gutter. People are listening to the podcasts, they're going, hey, wait a minute. Yeah.
So if you remember back to episode 1, Matt, you really bristled at being called an influencer, but I think maybe you want to own this because look what we're doing.
Yeah.
We are causing a sea change in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Some CEO, COO has stormed down to that room where all those eggheads are figuring out ways to scam customers and saying, "Have you seen the Neon Gutter? They're on to you."
Yeah, that's right. I just hurt my arm patting myself on the back.
So now at their stockholders meetings, all of their stockholders are listening to the Neon Gutter, of course.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's right.
are giving the big suits in the ivory towers a lot of pushback. So how is Vegas feeling the pushback from consumers?
Well, it's kind of a confluence of consumers have less confidence right now. Prices, they pushed into the point that they couldn't push anymore. Yep. And Vegas is not seeing foreign visitation like they used to. Foreign visitors are not coming to Vegas. So occupancy is down across the town and spending is down. I think it's been like 4 consecutive months of decline. Wow. And that scares the crap out of the casinos.
Yeah, and to your first point, some of this is macroeconomic factors.
Right.
Just people are not that confident in the economy, and there's a lot of volatility in the economy. Plus with tariffs and that sort of thing, international tourism is down. But just domestically, which we all live in the United States, we're also not loving what has been going on with Vegas with pricing. And we certainly don't travel to Las Vegas these days as much as we used to. And that's showing up a lot more in the bottom lines of Las Vegas with people just saying, is it really still as good of a value as it used to be? Because Vegas always existed, or for many years existed, as a value location. Yeah. And it's a little bit harder to make that case now. You can still make that case, but it's a harder case to make.
That's what brought us there in the first place. I mean, we always would go because it was such a cheap way for us to visit each other as we moved around across the country.
And so many opportunities to screw around. And there's still opportunities to screw around, but so many have been paywalled away from the average person.
That's right.
And if you want to leech off of a corpse, feed it so that it can keep creating more blood.
Well,
and that's what they stopped doing, is they stopped feeding the corpse.
Well, the analogy falls apart a little bit because corpses don't eat, Matt.
Okay, the body. Well, yeah, okay, the body.
No, let's talk more about engorging blood. I think that's going to bring more listeners in. So what do you guys think? Is this a temporary move? Because we're seeing a lot of deals that we're just about to talk about that seem to be encompassing the summer. Do you think this is something that's going to be a temporary move and they're going to go back to the way things were? Or do you think there's a more seismic shift happening in the Vegas Valley?
I think there's two things going on. One is they're extending these for the summer because they're saying, oh, we're going to waive resort fees. They're not going to say, hey, resort fees were a stupid idea to begin with. So they're putting in reserve the opportunity to raise prices on you again if things come back, and just saying it's summer and saying we're going to give you a gift of waiving resort fees or parking fees. But I think it's a longer term trend. I think come September, October, they're going to say, hey, the numbers aren't getting any better. We're going to have to keep the prices lower. And I also think you see some of the fringe players, so not Caesars and not MGM, trying to stake a claim with no resort fees or with cheaper rooms or with some great values. And they're seeing an opportunity of dissatisfied customers and trying to steal them away with value. So I think we're going to see, for the foreseeable future, a more comfortable Las Vegas for people with our budgets.
Yeah, though I would say, I mean, you follow Vegas more closely than I do, but we've been going there for so long, and it seems like it's the kind of thing like Madonna, who just reinvents itself again and again and again. And I think as soon as they can make more money, they will. Like, you don't expect a leech to decide to go vegetarian. It's always going to be a leech.
Oh yeah. All the eggheads, they're going to give them brooms and they're going to make them sweep up for a while. But as soon as they have an opportunity to redeploy them in trying to screw customers, they're going to get them right back in that tiny little cubicles. So yes, they will. But I think it's going to take them a while before the economy and customers are willing to be suckered again.
Yeah, the two big corporations, Caesars and MGM, have not waived resort fees. In fact, it seems like what they're doing to counter lower visitation is just take away services. MGM is getting rid of valets. They're getting rid of concierges. They're getting rid of services instead of making it a better value. They're just cutting back the services they provide in order to try and keep their profit margins somewhat in line.
They should double down on resort fees, like double resort fees here at the MGM.
I think they believe
Bite your tongue, because I would not be surprised if they do.
I think they believe they've built a golden cage with their loyalty programs and with their chain of hotels. That I think they're going to find people aren't as loyal as they expect them to be. And why would you be?
Right. Why would you be?
And I think we're encouraging our listeners to go outside those two corporations. There are some really good deals at some really nice properties that aren't Caesars or MGM.
Let's get to it.
You should dip your toe in at least and see what you think, because those places are going to be working a little harder to keep your business.
Yeah, and their leeches don't suck nearly as much blood.
Just a little blood.
God, I love this analogy. Let's just keep going with that.
Good.
I mean it in the best possible way.
I like it.
Let's get to the deals.
Yes, let's talk about some of these deals. And as a FYI, a lot of these deals need to be booked soon. Most of them, hotel deals, are only good through September 4th. Some of them even need to be booked sooner, of 2025. Some go longer than that, and we'll discuss that. But what I thought we would do is do a little tournament. I'll throw out a couple hotel deals with the details, and you guys decide which one you would prefer over another, and then I'll give you another deal and another one, and we'll see where we come out with a final winner.
And I want to say, we need to put the year in there, because 1,000 years from now, they're going to be studying this podcast. And we don't want those researchers 1,000 years from now to be like, oh, I'm going to go book that hotel.
When these radio waves get out into space and space stations hear this. Yes.
They've been looking at that Luxor light for a long time now.
Well, the only reason they haven't come to visit is the resort fee.
Just before I get started here, a couple of those independent places that we were going to talk about, including Rio and Fontainebleau, still have resort fees. So they are making some changes a little bit to try and get people in, but they have not yet gotten rid of resort fees. If you have a players club and you're getting emails, and we have been because we just stayed at the Rio and we signed up for the slot club at Fontainebleau, you're probably getting better deals than that. But if you don't have a players club at either of those places, you're still probably going to have to pay a resort fee for now. So, or not get as good of a deal.
For people who speak French, it's Fontainebleau.
Fontainebleau.
I'm sorry, what was it again?
Fontainebleau.
That is correct.
Thank you. All right, so let me throw out the first couple of deals here. You tell me which one you would prefer to stay at. Okay, so the first one, which is a very high-profile one that got a lot of press, Strip Resort came out with no resort fee. It was big news. Also free parking through September 4th. It's Resorts World. Wow. And they've got rooms from $79 plus tax, no resort fee. For a king room, if you want 2 queens, it's $99. But $79 plus tax for a Resorts World room. That seems pretty good. Seems pretty good.
And that's at the Hilton there, right? It's not
that would be for their lowest room, which would be in the Hilton. Okay. There's theoretically 3 hotels. There's Conrad and Crockford within there.
The lounge is on the 66th floor. Like if you're up high, that's a nice view from that one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have stayed there before. It is quite a nice hotel. And that's honestly a great rate. If you were staying in New York or you were staying in San Francisco or somewhere else, you could not get a hotel room of that quality for that price, not even close. Okay. So that's a really good deal.
I was going to say, I've gotten that deal, but I have to bring my own bed bugs and then show them at the front desk.
Well, you travel
this
with
you don't
your
have
own,
to bring bed bugs. Yeah. This you don't have to bring
well
bed
trained.
bugs. So yes.
In the tournament, going up against Resorts World is Circa. They have a special deal this summer for an all-in $400 for a 2-night stay. That includes resort fee and taxes, so $200 a night. That includes a $100 dining credit and a $100 beverage credit. Ooh. So both. And you get a day bed, which I know you guys always love, at Stadium Swim, which I've heard actually can go as much as like $300 or $400 just on its own.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Stadium Swim is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's available until September 4th, Sunday through Thursday only. It says blackout dates apply. I'm not sure what those blackout dates are, but midweek only. So $400 for a 2-night stay, $200 a night, all resort fees and taxes included, including $100 dining credit, $100 beverage credit.
So $100 beverage credit is what, approximately 8 coffees?
That's right.
at Circa.
That'll do me.
I would imagine a $100 dining credit would cover breakfast for the 3 of us at Circa.
That's probably right.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
Maybe not even.
Yeah,
I think. Wow. Circa, I'm sorry. Resorts World is a little bland for me. Circa is downtown, and I'm Circa. I'm going Circa as well. I think Circa's the play there. I mean, I'm not actually going to do it. It's out of my price range. But if I could afford either of those, I would go with Circa. That's because Circa's cool. The day bed's a great thing. I mean, even if the sports are boring, you can do cannonballs off the day bed and annoy people around you. So that's pretty great. That's a really great swimming pool sports book.
It is.
Circa.
It is.
And it's a cool property.
Very cool.
Yeah. I'm going to go Circa.
All right. Okay. So
what would you go? Or are you not telling us?
It's tough, and that's why I put it up at the beginning of the tournament. But I've stayed at Resorts World. I like Resorts World. I don't find it quite as bland as you guys do. Honestly, I would go to Circa because I have not stayed at Circa yet still, and so I would pick Circa as well. But it's a tough one for me, honestly, because especially since Resorts World is so cheap.
Also, you don't find yourself as bland as we do.
Depends on the day.
Yes.
All right, so now going up against Circa is another all-inclusive deal with Plaza. So their all-inclusive deal is $125 per person per night, all-inclusive. That included 2 meals and bottomless drinks all day. So, Matt, your face just lit up. You can't see this on the podcast, but Matt's face just lit up when I said bottomless drinks.
Well, that's echoes of Vegas World.
It is echoes of Vegas World.
It is a little bit,
yeah. You know how many White Russians I would drink? That's the drink I drank when I was in my 20s and didn't know how to drink. So I drink a lot of White Russians. You know how many White Russians I'd drink there? And you know how many I'd like, I'd bring a thermos.
Just put them in a thermos.
Yeah. So, okay, so 2 meals. Where are the meals? I'm assuming Oscars is off limits. So is it the food court or is it?
I'm not sure if Oscars is totally off limits. What it says in the description is the dining offer is valid for 2 meals a day, breakfast and dinner, and it says menus available at participating restaurants.
Okay.
So I don't know if Oscars is off limits. You may
Oscars
very
is
well
the
be right that
high-end
Oscars
place.
Oscars is the steakhouse that overlooks or used to overlook Fremont Street. So yeah, but I don't know for sure. They're a little bit vague, but it's a breakfast and a dinner.
So that's $250 a night for 2 people, but it includes
Correct.
your food and your bottomless drinks. That bottomless drinks is what pulls it close to the Circa, I think, for me. But I'm still going to go with Circa because I don't drink that much before I start vomiting.
I'm with you. I'm sticking with Circa. I have a real soft spot for the Union Plaza, or the Plaza. I still call it the Union Plaza.
Yeah.
But no, I'm liking that Circa deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Plaza deal is good. Honestly, I think it's a better value if there's just one person. If you're just one person, you can get that for, like, if you're a solo traveler, you can get that for $125.
And it's not a double occupancy. There's not a double occupancy requirement for that one.
There isn't. There is not.
Plus,
So it's just
if
per
you're-
person.
If you're traveling alone, you're probably going to be drinking more too. So the bottomless drinks gets better too. So
Depends on why you're alone.
yeah.
True.
Maybe it's because of the drinking. Okay, now I've cut a little deep here. We're having an intervention. Let's move on.
Okay, so Circa's still winning. Our next hotel is in the Naked City, and it is the Strat. So
This one's starting
this
at
is
a
a-
big disadvantage. So
it is
is.
that you're going.
If you
you're
say
going
$20
down from Circa to the Strat. Well, listen to what it is. It is from $49, resort fee and taxes included. So it's $49 all in, and you get a $25 resort credit daily for every day. So you're paying $49 and you get a $25 resort credit. That's Sunday through Thursday through August 28th. It's quite a bit cheaper than Circa. Certainly quite a bit not as nice as Circa. But
What's
it
the
is-
resort
it
credit
is
for? Like
you
going
can-
up in the tower or food or
bars,
tower or
food.
Yeah, bars. Sure, exactly. I think
Damn.
anything you can charge to the room.
Can they guarantee that the fire alarm will be going off while we're there?
You can always make that happen.
You can always. Yes, I can guarantee that could happen.
Okay.
Damn, though. I was really going to think this was never going to hold up to Circa, but that price,
That's a good price.
45,
That's a good
49
price.
with 25 as a credit. And I've never stayed at the Strat, and I've never been up in the tower.
Oh,
We did stay at the Strat a few years ago, and I guess maybe you weren't on that trip.
I must have missed it.
yeah.
Oh,
Dan
okay.
keeps saying he's never been up in the tower before.
I've never
so.
been in the
Oh,
tower.
and I've been in the tower a few times. Wait,
I'm
do
a
you
tower
get
virgin.
tower entrance for that price?
No, but you could use your resort
Oh.
credit, I assume, if
To
if
offset
you wanted
that
to use
price.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I still have to go with Circa, though.
I think so too. I mean, Circa's an event. Strat is just a mediocre room in a crappy hotel.
The advantage, though, with Strat is you're really centrally located, so you can walk a long way to either downtown or the Strip,
You can walk a lot, or a short walk to the South Point.
or the short walk to the
Or
south.
a very short walk to the Aztec,
Aztec, yeah.
That's a good point too.
which is going to
I'd
put
be
it over the
spending all
top for
day.
me, and I'm picking
And
the
Dino's.
Strat.
Yeah.
And
Really?
Dino's. Yes.
Okay.
I'm picking the Strat.
I'm really on
This
the
is-
fence there.
I think this is the first time ever that I chose something fancier than other people. Anyone else?
I think that may be. I think that may be right. All right, so you guys
Okay.
still have Circa. I've got the Strat. So our next contender is Oyo, and I've never stayed at. I don't think I've ever walked into Oyo before. I don't think I've ever been
walked
in the
into
place
it.
before.
You stayed at Hooters once for $1.
That's true. It was minus $1, and then they insisted on reneging on that deal, and they charged me $1 instead of paying me $1 when I checked in. But they've got rates as low as $63, including the resort fee. And this includes a pool cabana for up to 6 people with a cooler full of beverages.
Oh wow.
Wow.
They also have a couple other deals. One is instead of $63, it's $59, and you get just 2 beers included. They also have another deal for $72 with a $25 dining credit. one more thing. All of these deals include $5 in free slot play and $10 in table match play.
So there's some match play. Okay.
So the cabana deal, the Hooters pool by Vegas standards kind of sucks. So the cooler of beverages is pretty great. And I'm assuming they don't let you keep the cooler.
I'm assuming that as well. And it's also vague in terms of like how many drinks are really included with that cooler.
Yeah.
They just, is that like a 6-pack of beer? Is it,
unlimited?
two dozen cocktails that you can order from the bar?
Bottled
I don't know
water.
what that means,
Also, Oyo, remind me where Oyo is. Where is it located? It's not on the strip.
It's
like
where it's next to where Tropicana used to be.
Okay.
So across from MGM Grand on Tropicana Boulevard. It's
So
where
way
it used to
down
be.
South
It used to be
Strip.
the San Remu.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so I think I've already gathered you guys are not going for the Oyo deal, even with the slot play.
No,
and
I don't.
Besides, you're stuck there, and traffic sucks. And what can you walk to?
You can
Pinball
walk to
Hall
the
of Fame.
Silver Sevens, Pinball Hall of Fame,
Pinball Hall of
Pinball
Fame, that's true.
The South Point,
MGM Grand, sure.
the Silverton.
Yeah, you can walk to the South Point from anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the Strip. Our next contender is a Vegas legend, the Sahara. So you can book them with no resort fees and free parking, and they have rates from $59 plus tax, and you're on the Strip.
Yes.
That's our last Strip property. I'll just mention that as a little hint. It's our last Strip property, giving up any kind of good deals. No resort fees, $59 plus tax.
What are the perks?
That's it. Free parking.
Close to the Aztec and close to Dino's.
Yeah.
Close to free circus acts.
Correct.
I don't know. I have not
Yeah.
been in the Sahara recently.
I haven't either.
I know it's got to be better than when it was SLS. At least the casino has to be more alive than when it was SLS.
I'm sure.
But I don't know. Man, I'm still stuck on that Circa.
I think I am too. Strat just also seems a little bland and kind of like
Yeah.
just on the top end of the Strip. So there's nothing really calling to me. It's all these little perks that kind of fire my imagination.
They do kind of sweeten the deal a little bit. I agree with you there, and I'm sticking with the Strat too, only because like you could stay at the Strat and walk easily to the Sahara,
Right.
if you wanted to hang out there and check it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
And that Strat's cheaper.
and
Good.
Strat is quite a bit cheaper. Yeah. All right, let's go back downtown,
Yes.
and to another classic, the Golden Gate. So they have a deal, which is $59 a night, all in. That includes resort fee and tax. So that's totally all in. Sunday through Thursday, $100 a night on weekends. It's a 2-night minimum.
Huh.
You get 4 drink tickets with that. And I think it's 1 queen bed only. When I checked rates, the only rooms that they were showing were a single queen bed, which is kind of the norm in Golden Gate, just because it's very old and the rooms are small.
Right.
Got to book through September 4th. So $50 a night, all in, downtown, Golden Gate.
Do you get to have a room that's right over the Fremont Street Experience?
Probably.
And, like,
Yes, I can almost guarantee it.
yeah. So that's going to be noise until 5 a.m.
That's what the 4 drink tickets are for.
Does it come with earplugs or?
There are earplugs in those rooms.
Are there?
I've stayed in one of those rooms, and it is not good. I have very low standards, and it was sporadic hot water. My view was 3 feet from a wall, and I got all the noise from downtown. And I don't think I've ever stayed in a hotel that reeked more of marijuana.
Really?
Just brutal. So that one's way out.
Yeah, but
for
it
me.
wasn't that
There's-
way before you checked in.
Well, okay, yeah, but
I was to say, does the contact high come with it?
yeah. So I actually complained and got my resort fee back for last time. And this deal isn't that special because I think at that trip I paid like $14 plus like a $35 resort fee or something. So that's essentially $49 a night anyway. So that I think is the going rate for the Golden Gate, and I'm sticking with Circa right
I
across the
think you
street
just-
from the Golden Gate.
True.
I think
Right
you just
across the
opened a
street.
treasure chest, which is if you complain, will they refund your resort fee in these places?
Once.
And just once, okay. No, I'll stick
It
with
also
the
helps if
Circa
you
too.
bring your own trained bed bugs,
Yes.
as
There you
we've
go.
established. All right, let's stick with the golden theme. We're going to go down the block on Fremont.
The Nugget.
The Golden Nugget.
See, I
They
like
have a
that place.
Santa's Summer Sale. No resort fee for rooms, and these you can book for rooms all the way through June of 2026.
Really?
Wow.
But you have to book them by July 31st of this year of 2025. So any room you book by July 31st, 2025, you can book through June of 2026 with this deal of no resort fee. It's code EB250 is the booking code. You get free parking. The rate is $66.50 a night, and it's bed type assigned at check-in. So you're kind of rolling the dice a little bit whether you want one bed or two for the dates that I checked. So $66.50 a night. Yeah, and
Wow.
that $66.50 a night with tax.
And no perks.
Wow.
And no
other
perks.
perks.
Free parking for guests is the perk. And the big thing is that you can book it outside of the summer, and you can book it for later in the year. The rates may be different. I checked for our usual March weekend of 2026, and the rates were $89 a night,
Wow. That's fantastic.
That's
which is
good
a pretty
too.
good deal.
Yeah.
I think I have to jump ship. Just that price is great, and I like the Golden Nugget. We stayed there many years ago, but it's a small but tall pool. It's got a really sweet water slide. That's like the fanciest place downtown. It's swanky. I really had a nice stay there, and I have good memories of it. I don't know if it's still the same, but I assume they've kept it up. I think I'm going with the Nugget.
I'm going to stick with Circa.
I'll come visit you.
Yeah. The thing is with if you don't know how many beds you're getting, I don't know how many bed bugs to bring. So that's a problem for me. That would be a risk. If I was traveling with my wife, I wouldn't care how many beds. She might. I wouldn't. But if I'm traveling with my friends, it's really important.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick with Circa just because the novelty. It's something new. Better pool, livelier hotel, more exciting, newer. I feel like the Golden Nugget is not the standard of downtown that it once was.
Oh, really? Okay.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think Circa has certainly usurped it by this point, and Golden Nugget has slid a little bit just on its own.
Yeah.
But I am going to move back downtown. I'm going to say I'm going to take the Golden Nugget deal over the Strat myself. So
I would. Yeah.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. And it's been a long time since I've stayed at the Golden Nugget. In fact, I think I've stayed at the Nugget a few times, but I don't think I've stayed there since the new pool is opened, and that's got to be 25 years old or something since they put that shark pool with the water slide in there.
The shark pool, yeah.
Maybe I've stayed there in the wintertime when I just was not going to use the pool or something, but I've never swam in that pool before. So.
Yeah, good pool.
All right, we got one last contender here, so this will make or break your decision. Also downtown, but off of Fremont Street, it's the Downtown Grand.
Oh.
No resort fee, $57 a night plus tax, or $64.50 all in. 2 queen rooms are available with this deal, and you get a $50 food and beverage credit and 4 drink tickets, early check-in, late checkout, and an upgrade to the gallery tower. Now, I'm not sure what the upgrade to the gallery tower means, but early check-in, late checkout, $50 food and beverage credit.
Is that used to be the Lucky Lady?
Yes, the Lady Luck.
Oh, okay.
Lady
Luck.
Luck, yes.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
So
that's a good
$57 a
deal.
night plus tax.
That's a good
you
deal
can get
with the
2
drink
queens.
tickets,
You can
food.
reserve 2 queens with that deal.
2 queens?
$50 food and beverage credit. 4 plus 4 drink tickets.
They've got a decent rooftop pool. Their dining options, well, they've got their little alley, 3rd Street, with a bunch of dining stuff on it.
Right.
So that'll do okay. They have, as we'll talk about later, they have some potentially decent gambling opportunities.
Yes.
I'm jumping ship. You know what? I'm bailing out. I'm going downtown Grand.
You know what? I'm going to meet you there.
All right.
I like the Grand. I'll take your other queen bed.
I'm going to meet you there too, but I'm going to get my own room because you guys stink. So.
I was going to say you could get a rollerway.
Bring your own air mattress like Robert does.
The Grand is it.
All right, that seems like the deal
Wow.
of the day,
Good
right?
deal.
Downtown Grand.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good deal, I think.
Yeah.
It's a good deal.
Yeah. Now, are all of these advertised on the hotel websites for our readers?
Yes.
Can they just,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, so anybody can go book those. You don't need a special mailer or, any sort of, even a player's card for any of this stuff. They're just right on the website. So go get
Yeah,
it.
Downtown Grand, that's cool.
That is cool.
There you go. Well, when we return, we're going to highlight some more deals you guys can get on cheap gambling and cheaper eats. And you won't have to walk all the way from Fremont Street to South Point to get them. So don't go away.
If you want a great time, it's a place to be. For good old-fashioned hospitality in your neighborhood casino, there's so much to do. Let Arizona Charlie's make a winner out of you. There's always a winner and you can be next. The excitement never stops and the action's the best. If you start to get hungry day or night, Arizona Charlie's has just what you like. We've got the shows that you want to see and the friendliest people that you'll ever meet. It's a local place that'll make you smile. Your neighborhood resort is Arizona Charlie's, where the West gets wild.
Greetings, everybody. It's Lucky Ned, right here in the D in Las Vegas, Nevada. You know me. I'm the guy who gives you great gambling advice, such as go with guts. I'm stationed here at the D Casino in Las Vegas, and I'm sitting at the Sigma Derby, and I'm going to bring you the race right here in the podcast. I'm going to give you the odds to the horses, and after the next part of the podcast, we'll give you a live call of the race. It's so exciting. You can scream from wherever you're listening to this podcast. So let's get to the odds. We got the 1-2 horse coming in at 9-1. The 1-3 combination is 7-1. The 1-4 combination pays 63-1. The 1-5 combination is 12-1. I'm getting bored of this. Let's go with the 1-5 at 12-1. Even and odd. It's inside and outside horses, 12-1. Let's do that, all right? Put in 10 quarters on the 1-5 combo at 12-1. We're going to give it a call, and then we're going to celebrate because we'll all have gone with guts and won. Hang in there, folks. See you soon.
And we're back in the Neon Gutter. Thanks for coming back with us. We're going to check out some more summer deals in Las Vegas, both eating and gambling. Matt, what have you got in terms of some of the best eating and gambling deals in Las Vegas this summer?
Well, I'm not going to do this tournament style the way you did, and primarily because I don't care what you guys think. So I'm just gonna tell you, we're gonna go by area. And there's so many, and really, we're just talking about meals in the gutter. So nothing that I'm going to bring up is more than $10. There's probably some very good values over $10, but I'm just going to focus on the really dirt cheap stuff. And we're probably going to talk about 10% of what I know of. So we're going to put a list on the website of everything that's available, when it's available, where it's available, and what it is.
How to eat cheap.
Yes.
Yep.
So let's start downtown because we were talking about downtown Grand. We're going to stay at the downtown Grand, and we get how much food credit there? Do we get any food credit?
50.
Yeah, $50.
How would you guys like to have one morning breakfast burritos, $8,
Nice.
and then the next morning biscuits and gravy or a Denver skillet for $8?
Ooh, the Denver skillet sounds good.
Yeah, I
$8.
know.
That sounds
biscuits
like a
and
good deal.
gravy doesn't sound like that good a deal.
Right.
So there you go. That's $24 for the three of us.
Wow.
That's $50 for two, or $48 for 2 days. And then in the middle of the day, we can do the $3.50 hot dog and a Pabst Blue Ribbon
Oh, excellent.
at the downtown Grand. So that's a pretty good deal at the downtown Grand. The thing with that breakfast, it's only available 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., which is really when gamblers are ready to eat.
I think they're banking on the fact that no one is actually going to get up and take advantage of those deals. Yeah.
And $8 is not that great a deal. It's good for downtown. It's not that great.
It's
the
pretty
other one
good
that
for a Denver skillet, I would say.
Yeah.
More than biscuits and gravy. But let me just say this. In our last trip to Fremont, in their little food court there, when we were just trying to get a donut and coffee, it was way more than $8. And so, I think that's in relation to even downtown prices, it's not that bad.
It was like $15 for a breakfast sandwich and a cup of coffee. So
That's crazy.
yeah. So the other one I think that's very
I
interesting.
mean, the coffee is sane, but coffee at that price.
You be quiet, mister. Cutting that out of the show.
The other one I think is interesting downtown is just a little place called Parlor Coffee and Cooking, which we went to, and I talked about during our last trip report. We went there in the evenings on the weekends. They do a $5 burger. And this is all craft cooked. It's a smashed burger it's not like, garbage food. It's actually very good food. $5 burger, $2 fries, $3 craft beers. So $10 for beer, burger, and fries in a cool little place that's quiet, and it's off of Fremont a little bit. Wow. Really cool little place, and very nice people. So that's the other one I would recommend downtown. And that's a good deal because it's dinner too. And there aren't a lot of great dinner values.
That's really cool. You gotta love those little places, little mom and pop or whatever, neighborhood place.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I missed. I think I came in too late for your trip on the last trip. So can you tell me where exactly Parlor is? I'm not familiar with the location.
It's one street south of Fremont. So is that Carson?
I think that's Carson.
Yeah, Carson. Yeah. So it's kind of like behind where the Western is or was.
Oh wow.
Or Schrodinger's casino. It's neither here nor there.
I would even say that's such a great deal. It offsets the pretentiousness of the spelling of parlor with the U in there.
Yes. Well, don't go during breakfast because that's when all the pretentious people are getting coffee. Go at night when it's very quiet. And it just seems to be a pop-up that they loan the space out to someone who makes these burgers and fries and drinks. And you can get onion rings. You can upgrade your burger. They'll do craft cocktails for $7. It's just a great vibe.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, now I've got a downtown deal, and I think the price is right. It's free, so tell me if you like this.
Okay.
If there's a deal from Circa, if you sign up for text messages from them with a QR code, you can get 7 free drinks from all the 7 bars within Circa for free.
Whoa.
The hitch is that you've got to show it to a concierge at Circa by July 7th. So you can use it, like locals can use it like through some date in August, but you need to sign up for that and show the code that you get from them to a concierge at Circa by July 7th. And if you do that, you can get 7 free cocktails at Circa, and that's a pretty good deal.
Wow. I would parlay that with my unlimited drinks at the Plaza. So I have unlimited plus 7.
Plus 7.
Infinity plus 7.
The other one I want to point out downtown is vegetarian. There are very few good vegetarian deals, but we ate at Tacotarian in the Arts District, which is walking distance from downtown.
Arts District, yep.
It's vegan tacos. Quite tasty, speaking as someone who's not a vegan. And on Wednesdays, you can get a 99-cent Dorado taco, which is their potato taco. Dan and I did. Burt did not.
He was first in line and missed the deal. I was first in line,
didn't know anything about the secret deal, and totally missed out, and it totally blew my 25 cents a day budget.
Yes, but you end up, you can get other tacos, carne asada, carnitas, whatever, all vegan.
They're great.
Their other tacos are small, but they're reasonably priced as well.
Reasonably priced, and it's a cool space. We were way underdressed for the crowd there, but it's a cool place. The real deals out there are out in Henderson, and this to me is the most exciting thing in Vegas. 2 places out there, slots-only casinos in the downtown Henderson, Emerald Island and Rainbow, have free food for players.
Whoa.
Yes, free food. So you just sit down on a machine, act like you're playing, and every couple hours in the afternoon, they have a different food. So like at the Rainbow, they have cookies at 2 p.m., pizza at 6 p.m., and Baskin-Robbins ice cream at 8 p.m.
Oh, they just come around like
shabby.
Yeah. Casino, buy you a drink.
Yeah, well, I think maybe they set them up
cream?
and you have to go get them, or I don't know how they do it. Maybe they give you chits if they see you're playing a machine. Wow. It doesn't say you have to have a certain number of points or anything like that.
Do they throw pizza at you while you're sitting at the machine?
Yeah, possibly. Pizza rolls.
That's happened to me before.
Yeah. And so Emerald Island does the same thing, but they do donuts at 10:30 a.m.
Wow.
Cookies or some other sweets at 2 or 2:30 p.m. It depends on the day of the week. Pizza at 6 p.m., ice cream at 8 p.m.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yes. So you got to kind of check their website to see which ones they're giving on which day. Most days they have something at each of those times, but it varies what it is. These are places that cater primarily to retirees in Henderson. And so if you're young, you have a big advantage because you can run faster and you can push harder. So I would recommend you go out there and take advantage of those deals.
Nice.
And the Rainbow has one of the best signs in Las Vegas currently, I think. It's a great photo op if you're just looking for a great Vegas neon photo op. The Rainbow's got a great sign.
Well, the Rainbow used to be owned by the Peppermill. And so the whole casino inside was like that, and it was fantastic. It was glorious. But as long as I can remember, it's just been slots only. But they used to have an incredibly cheap coffee shop. It's gone up since the Peppermill doesn't own anymore. But I think the relationship was similar to Western Villages to the Peppermill Hotel Casino in Reno.
The Rainbow Cafe actually has daily specials that they post on Twitter.
Yes.
There is 0 reactions on Twitter of people actually seeing these, but I think I'm the only person that sees these specials come up, but they do post them, and they're pretty decent deals for the cafe.
You need to like them or they're going to stop posting them before we get there. The other one that I think, and we're going to list all these. There's lots that I'm not mentioning here.
Yeah, check out the website.
And remember, we're in the middle of summer 2025. So if it's not the summer of 2025, don't take this as Bible. The other one I think that's very interesting, and I will ask you guys this. Would you take advantage of an all-you-can-eat meal, all-you-can-eat for $4.49?
Yeah, I think
What if I said it's only pancakes?
I'd say pancake robot, come and get them while they're hot.
Do you get anything else, or is it just a
Syrup,
stack of pancakes?
Butter.
Okay,
Or-
so no
wow.
coffee, no sides of any kind.
Oh, wow.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
I would probably skip it. I would probably order something else then.
Yeah, pancakes are one of those things where you think you can eat a lot of them, but 2 pancakes and you're like, ugh,
You fill up
It
quick,
depends on
yeah.
the sides. That's true.
that's a lot of starch. So yeah, it's the cheapest all-you-can-eat deal in Las Vegas,
Okay.
but it's pancakes
It's pancakes.
only.
Huh.
Right.
So, and Longhorn has some other good specials too, but that's the one that's most interesting because it's all you can eat, and you could for $4.50 you could run the legs off that poor waitress.
I feel sorry for her. I could eat my fill. I mean, I could eat more than that in value, I think.
You think pancakes
Pancakes
cost,
are pretty cheap, yeah. 10 cents each, so that's 500 pancakes. I could do that.
Okay, all right. So then we're going. That'd be 50.
right.
It'd be 45 pancakes.
45
by the way.
pancakes, yeah.
What about our favorite place in North Las Vegas, Jerry's Nugget? What's going on over there?
Jerry's Nugget, really the only good deal they have, and it's noteworthy because we always end up there late at night, is a $7.99 steak and eggs. And it's not a good steak, but I get it every damn time. It's $7.99 steak and eggs. The thing there is they also have a pretty good bakery with good pies and cakes.
They have good pies.
They do.
They're not cheap, but they have them, and they have them 24 hours a day, and that's very important.
Yep.
Late night pie is extremely important.
Yeah, we'll pay a premium for the late night pie for sure.
Yeah.
And they'll take their time making you a Monte Cristo. So
Yes, they will.
it could take an hour, but it's going to come.
It's going to come. All your friends are going to be gone, but you'll be there to enjoy it alone.
Not a deal.
That's really what's shocking to me is in North Las Vegas, the Cannery doesn't really have any specials, and neither does Poker Palace, which is down to one restaurant since the North Shore Oyster Bar has sadly closed for
more
unexplained
news
reasons.
for our listeners that we're a little disappointed that the North Shore Oyster Bar at Poker Palace is closed. Again, if you read the internet, people have been joking about the North Shore Oyster Bar, but we've eaten there many times, and it's very good. And we're actually sad that it's closed. So
yeah, I hope he's opening somewhere else or doing something because
right.
He was good. So let's go off the strip. This is where the most deals are. This is where they're trying to lure you away. One thing I think is very interesting is Ellis Island, which is famous for its steak dinner, $10 for a decent steak. Served all day. It's not a late night deal or anything. But they also, because they're under construction and expanding, all of the menus and all of the restaurants are 50% off right now. So just on weekdays, 4 to 7 p.m.
So does that include the steak deal, the steak and potatoes deal? Like, can you get that now for $5?
I don't know. That's a good question. That one, I don't even know if it's on the menu. And the promotion is 50% off anything on the menu. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably what they do. Yeah.
So yeah, 4 to 7 Monday through Thursday. That's a deal because it's dinner time. It's not a deal because I learned from going to dinner with my grandmother that you can get the early bird special at Spires for $5.99. So you are going to be competing with a lot of retirees for that deal. But they've got ribs, they've got pizza, they've got a coffee shop, a lot of things all half off there. That's a good deal.
Plus karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll mention one other thing about that deal is you do have to have a player's card.
You
to
do
take advantage of that.
Yes. And I would say on the safe side, make sure you have a player's card pretty much for anything. But yes, that one you absolutely have to have a player's card. The next one I want to highlight, and it's only because it's such a short walk from everywhere, and that's the South Point, which is the granddaddy of all midnight late graveyard specials. Midnight to 6 a.m. every night. They've got a wide range of things you can have. You can have a burger. You can have ham and eggs. You can have a steak and eggs. You can have a pancake sandwich. Biscuits and gravy, anything, all except for the steak and eggs under $5 or under $5.50.
Yeah,
and that one's almost a rite of passage because they are the granddaddy. I mean, that coffee shop could hold 300 people, and a lot of people show up for that late night deal, and they serve them all.
Yep, people will be lining up well before midnight to get their hands on one of those deals for sure.
Just walk 6 miles south of Mandalay Bay. Part of it doesn't have a sidewalk, but it's worth it.
Have some appetizers at Bootlegger's Bistro and then have a little short walk to finish off your evening.
Yep. A pleasant, lovely walk. The other one that I think is interesting off strip is Station Casinos. Palace, Sunset, Texas, I think. Boulder.
Boulder Station.
$4.99 for 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. for $4.99 or $3.99 for pancakes or a 2 eggs and bacon, and that's in any of the coffee shops in the Station Casino, and they're kind of all over, so
cheap.
That's a good deal. And a cheeseburger and fries for $6, 24 hours a day. And
nice.
I highlight that because that's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. The other thing about this too that I really like is, hey, we're seeing 24-hour coffee shops come back.
That's kind of cool.
That's very cool. Yeah.
So good deal. We don't go to those places very often, but they're all over the valley. Let's move on to the Strip, and believe it or not, there are still some cheap things on the Strip.
I know only one.
Well, there's the Aztecs $5 breakfast, which is a mediocre breakfast. You get eggs, toast, and bacon or sausage, and a hash brown patty.
But it's the Aztec, so
it's $5, and it's 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. And what's interesting is that cafe is called the $5 Cafe, and that's the only thing they have that's $5.
That's $5.
Yeah. But one thing I think is interesting is they have something they call the Thai Nutella crepe for $3.99.
Now,
that's kind of interesting. I don't know. I don't know. But $3.99 for a sweet treat, that's kind of interesting.
Assuming it's sweet.
Yeah. The other one that I really want to talk about on the Strip is the Slots of Fun, which has a fairly decent menu for $2.
Of course.
Hot dogs, popcorn, shrimp cocktails, beer, $2 all the time at the bar. They've added tacos, and I believe they have 3 different meats. They have beef, chicken, and pork, $2 each. Not a bad deal for the Strip, right in the middle of the Strip. None of them are particularly good, but they're $2.
Nice.
I just wanted to mention one more thing about the Strip. At Planet Hollywood in the mall at Blondie's, which is where we finished up our 25-cent a day trip, and where Dan infamously got his cup of coffee there.
Great deal on coffee there. Good deal. $5.99 for a bottomless coffee. Good deal, guys. Go ahead. Coffee.
They have a deal from 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, like a happy hour deal. $20, all you can drink for those 3 hours. Well drinks and Bud Light drafts.
What, you just hang out there and drink?
If you're staying at Plaza and you've got all the cocktails and you got 7 more at Circa, you might want to just spend the 3 hours that you're not at those places at Blondie's.
Drinking.
Wow.
Drinking well drinks.
Yeah. That's the hard part of that. You're right, Dan, is you're sitting in Blondie's, which is as generic a sports bar as you're going to find.
Yeah. Not my speed.
Yeah, it's inside. There's no windows and stuff. So, although they have some pictures on the website that show like people looking out over like a water treatment and stuff. So I don't know if that's the same place, but it may be somewhere else. And also with that deal, it's unclear. It came out in the last newsletter. It's not clear if that deal is ongoing or if it is going to stop at the end of June 2025. So I'm not going to guarantee that it's available after the end of June.
Okay. One other one at Planet Hollywood. There's several values in the back of that Miracle Mile just because they have to find some way to get you to walk all the way back there.
Right.
A place called the Ketchup Burger Bar has what I've been told is a quite good burger, half-pound burger and fries for $5.99.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good deal. If you're on the middle of the strip and you need something, we're talking about a lot of eggs and a lot of burgers here, but that's what you get for on a budget. All right, moving on to Summerlin. If you thought the people had gray hair in Henderson, wait till you get to Summerlin. However, the Rampart Casino has the Earl Grey Cafe, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., pancakes for $5. But midnight to 5 a.m., they've got some fairly decent deals. A 2-egg omelet for $5.99. And I think that's a little different, you know? An omelet is better than just a couple of eggs.
It's like that Denver skillet.
True.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, and then if you go over to the Red Rock Casino, which is a pretty swanky place, cheeseburger and fries all day, $5.99. Pancakes, 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., $3.99. So if you don't want to spend the extra 50 cents to get all you can eat, go to the Lucky Penny at the Red Rock, $3.99.
You might get some toast with those pancakes too. At Red Rock.
And a couple of other deals for $5 for late night at the Red Rock Lucky Penny. So that kind of sums it up by area. Like I said, I have a list of about 74 different deals. It'll be even more by the time we put it up. Yeah, so check it out.
There's some good eating in the gutter. You can eat in the gutter.
Yeah. Well, there's some cheap eating in the gutter.
That's not good.
You're
just looking for some protein.
Yeah, you need something to line your stomach for those bottomless drinks.
All right, now, man cannot live on food alone. He has to gamble. So what about the gambling deals?
Yeah.
Yes.
There are no gambling deals in Las Vegas.
All right. There are. You are incorrect. And I am not going to talk about roulette because roulette's a sucker's bet. However, I will say that Jerry's has a $2 minimum for roulette. And that's probably the only good roulette in Vegas. And guess what? Their wheel has 2 zeros and 36 numbers, just like the other best wheels in Vegas. So don't be a snob. Don't play 000 at the Fontainebleau. 00.
Yeah, definitely don't.
At Jerry's.
Boycott that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Downtown Grand is the place to go for $5 blackjack.
That's where we're staying.
Craps.
That's awesome.
I know. And one thing I want to get you guys' thoughts on is they have a $1 blackjack table that pays even money on blackjacks. And so does Oyo. But let's talk about this. Would you play, if you could play real blackjack with double after split and some good rules for $5, would you play $1 blackjack with really bad rules?
I might.
$5 all the way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even find the dollar blackjack all that much fun anymore.
It's not that compelling.
If we could find a $1 craps table, I would play that in a heartbeat.
Oh, I'd play that all night long.
$1 blackjack, I'd be bored to tears.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you get free drinks, but
I might do it for the novelty, but I don't know how long I'd be able to sit there.
And I will
especially
say
after
this.
the first blackjack.
That's
like,
true.
what?
I'd be steaming.
Yeah.
I will say this. Whenever I've seen that table and the dollar table at Oyo, it's packed and there are people waiting. And so you're shoulder to shoulder with other people. And I like being cheap, but I have real disdain for other people that are just as cheap.
That includes you, dear listeners.
Yeah, that includes self-disdain.
No, not our listeners, but the rest of the people, because they're doing it for the wrong reasons.
That's right.
But Dan, I think you could probably clear out one of those tables.
Yeah, I pull out the big cigar. I pull out the novelty foot-long cigar made of a brown paper bag. Excuse me, you don't mind if I light this up, do you? I'm just going to smoke it right over here, over your shoulder here.
So
yeah, that'll clear out a table.
That's it for $5 games downtown.
Okay.
Okay. And I think we've been through Downtown Grand a number of times and haven't seen that $5 craps game.
Very true.
So it may only be at slower times that are really slow.
They open it up. Mm-hmm.
Very good point. I would not go there expecting to be open on a weekend, maybe during slow times. On the Strip, there are some $5 tables. Some very, very few.
Very few.
The Oyo says they deal a $5 craps game. I've never seen it. I believe it's probably only during the slowest times of the day again.
Yeah.
So not a great one. They have dollar blackjack, same rules, same crowded table.
Okay.
Bunch of scumbags and then me. And then slots of fun. And they're not even real. They're a hybrid where you don't even get chips. You have to do all your betting through a kiosk or a little tablet screen.
Oh.
Okay.
And they do have roulette as well.
Okay.
But $5. But again, I really enjoy handling chips. I think it's fun. It's much more tactile.
Oh, definitely.
If I'm going to play on my iPad, I can do that at home. So that's it on the Strip, though, and that's why I mention it, is because it's the only thing that's $5 on the Strip. One thing that's very sad to note is Casino Royale no longer has any live gaming. Casino Royale is now just slots or video stuff, and that
used to be one of my favorite places for craps.
Yes,
for sure. Yeah, and they had some of those Stupak games too, like Blackjack Switch and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Some of their table games. But yeah, I think COVID really killed that place.
Let's move to the off strip. I think the most interesting, well, to me, and you guys correct me, I think the best cheap blackjack in town is Poker Palace, which has a $3 and $5 tables. Double deck or shoe. You can resplit aces. You can double up to 3 cards. So
very liberal rules, the kind of
great
Vegas
rules.
Club rules they used to have.
Yeah.
And I don't know of any place dealing those kind of rules anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not that into blackjack these days, but I don't know of any other places that have those kind of rules that you can take advantage of.
Yeah. Evenings only, though. They don't open their tables till 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But that's Poker Palace, $3 or $5 tables. The other one I think that's quite interesting is the Palms, that has 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, $5 craps and $5 blackjack, and the blackjack is 3-2. It's still to have a shoe, but they pay 3-2 on blackjacks. The craps is 3, 4, 5 times odds, but $5. That's probably the nicest place where you're going to play $5 craps or blackjack in town.
Yeah, and it's a real craps game. It's not roll to win or something. It's a real craps game.
It's a real live game.
Yeah, looking forward to taking advantage of that on the next trip for sure.
Yeah, and Jerry's Nugget, where we always seem to end up, because a lot of times it's the only $5 craps game we can find on the weekends. Yeah. And they have a $5 game with 3 times odds. It's busy. It's always packed, but it's a fun game.
It's out there. It really is. It stays packed.
It's a fun game, and then they've got shoe and double deck 3-2 blackjack for $5 at Jerry's.
Well, I'm interested here to see about the Canneries actually offering 10 times odds on a $5 table.
And we've played it. But we played it on a Thursday night. We went back Friday night, and it was $10.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I would say weekdays only. Yeah, I would say that one's weekdays only. Silverton says they now have $5 craps, but it's crapless craps, which is kind of a crummy game. They say they also have $5 blackjack.
Rip-off.
Yes. They say they have $5 blackjack. I have not seen it, so I would proceed with caution on that one. South Point claims to have $5 2 times odds craps, but I've never seen it. Maybe it's only during the slowest times, but when I've been there, it seems like it's always $10.
All right.
So, and we'll post all these, and there's a couple other little ones along the way that we to mention.
You know what you didn't mention too is the alleys penny pinching.
Pennies.
Just penny pitching.
You can pitch pennies, and nobody's going to stop you. You might
sometimes a woman might come out and stop you, but then she might join in.
She might try to join you. That's right. But yes, you can pitch pennies in any alley in Las Vegas. Absolutely, if you can stand the smell of urine.
There's free buffets back there too.
Yes. Sometimes. Yes. Once you're done with your bottomless drinks. So we'll put these on the website. The good news is there are $5 games still in town. The better news would have been there are $2 games in town, but that's not the case. If you're going to play roulette, play it at Jerry's Nugget. Don't play it anywhere else. Otherwise, the other thing I want to say on gambling is if you want to play penny video poker, penny keno, penny slots that really only cost a penny a hand, it's going to be Jerry's Nugget or Aztec Casino. Poker Palace is 2 cents is the minimum. But when we go and do our 24-hour stay at the Poker Palace Casino, I'm envisioning about 12 hours of caveman keno.
Oh, yes.
in there.
People are starting to catch on to the Aztec. I'm not sure we should continue to promote them because I
That's
think
true.
It's going to get overrun with tourists like the El Cortez has.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we need to figure out some deal we can cut with them to get a slice of the profits there.
There you go. All right, my friends, we've got more deals coming up for you in the entertainment variety for some shows, and we're going to tell you what our favorites are of all the deals that we've talked about today. No ifs, ands, or buts. Coming up right after this break.
I get the reference.
I missed that one. I should.
Don't spoil it.
Okay.
If you're looking for something a little more risque, then you'll want to spend part of your night with the Crazy Girls, starring in Las Vegas' sexiest topless review. Voted the best showgirls in Las Vegas, the Crazy Girls heat up the night in this production of sensuality and passion. With scintillating dance numbers, the talented and beautiful Crazy Girls take sensuality to the next level. Catch the sexiest women in Las Vegas, starring in Crazy Girls, Las Vegas' sexiest topless review.
And now it's time for the Neon Gutters Sigma Derby Race of the Week.
Welcome back to Sigma Derby at the D with the Neon Gutter. We're here with Matt and Ski. Our next race is a 9-7-63. What do you like in this race, Ski?
I like the 9. I like the 7, the 63, and the 12.
All right. I'm going to go with the 1-4, the 63.
Yeah,
how about you, Matt?
I'm 4-5. I'm the 9, the 63, and the 36.
And they are off. 5 and 2 are off to a quick lead. That's the 5-1 shot. But here comes 4 as they approach the first turn. They're coming around, and 3 is well behind. 1 is taking the inside track as they come spinning out of the turn. It is still 2-5. It's 2-5, but here comes 4. Here comes 1. It's going to be a tight finish. Here comes 1. It's going to be 1-5 to finish at 12-1. I hope you were a winner in the Neon Gutter. We'll see you next time.
Hey, we actually won that one. It's amazing. I got all these quarters in the payout bin, and now we can go have some fun. Playing more Sigma Derby, all right. Hey, listen, if you want some tips on how to win or any other games in Las Vegas, go to neongutter.com and download my in-credit systems. And now it's back to the show.
And we're back in the Neon Gutter, finishing off our bottomless cocktails. I hope you're doing the same. We've got a few more deals to wrap things up for you here for the summer of 2025 and talk a little bit about our favorites. But we've got some entertainment deals, and the first one I want to mention right off the top in this segment, because if you're listening to this on Monday, June 23rd, this is the absolute last day you can actually book this deal. But Caesars is advertising $50 show week. So for most of their shows, you can get a $50 ticket. And for some shows, it's $50 for 2 tickets through the end of 2025. But you have to book it by 7 p.m. Pacific time on June 23rd. So if you go to their website, click the date you want the show, there's a little thing up at the top of that in the upper right that says unlock, and then you put in the code CAE50, and then you'll get the $50 tickets will show up if they're available. I just did one check on a random date with Wayne Newton, and it worked. I got a $50 ticket, which is more than half off.
He's still alive?
He is still alive and is in I think, kind of an intimate showroom, so you get to have like kind of a cool night with Wayne. You're not in a big, showroom and stuff. But that was just one random show that I picked. So, obviously through the Caesars properties, there's dozens of shows.
You get to go right up to the coffin?
I heard Rich Little is opening for
How
him.
you win that? So anyway, again, you have to book that by 7 p.m. Pacific on June 23rd, 2025. But you can book those shows out through the end of 2025, is my understanding.
Does that come with a room?
No.
Bottomless drinks?
No.
Oh well.
I would need bottomless drinks to get through a Wayne Newton show,
But if you have consumed some bottomless drinks for a day and a half, the next best thing you want to do is go on Slotzilla, and they have a deal for every day $29 from noon to 5 p.m. It's only for a limited time.
You have to describe what that is.
Well, I think people downtown
probably know.
People that go to Las Vegas know that Slotzilla is the
zip
line.
The zip line, that goes down Fremont Street. And I think they have two levels. Like one is a short one and one is kind of long. And so I'm assuming this is the shorter, lamer one. But it's $29, which I think is a deal. So if you're itching to do that, Slotzilla's got that 12 to 5 every day. All right,
$20 bottomless drinks, and I can pretend I'm flying.
$20 bottomless drinks, I can pretend I'm raining.
You probably will be.
You won't be pretending. All right, the last one I've got is if you're a fan of classy Las Vegas entertainment like I am, are a fan of Crazy Girls, the legendary show at the Riviera.
Really?
Is it back?
No way.
The show is not back, but the famous Crazy Girl statue that used to sit out in front of the Riviera is now being brought back by our favorite casino owner, who is into all things cool of the legendary
Stevens?
Las Vegas Times. Derek Stevens is bringing the statue back to Circa. It's going to be placed at their top floor lounge at Legacy Club. And so that statue that's been in storage at Planet Hollywood for years, where the show ended up for a brief run after the Riviera closed. It's just been sitting around, and he bought the statue. They're going to do an unveiling this week, Friday, June 27th, with like a parade down Fremont with the statue, and then they're going to bring it up to the top of Circa at the Legacy Clubs. Where
Derek Stevens.
You can rub the Crazy Girls for good luck, as many of us have done.
Can you
many
rub
times
them? That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, I think you can.
You'd have to. I can vouch that those asses give you good luck. You've got to
just
rub
them with your hands, not your crotch. Like
whatever, you do what you want. Don't let Burt stop you from achieving your dreams. Rub what you want. And they've been well rubbed. They have
been well rubbed.
They are very shiny
burnished.
They have. So anyway,
that's great. That's really
what
great.
I'm looking forward to. Absolutely, it's
way cool.
Really cool. Yeah.
Kudos
to Derek Stevens.
Is he going around the country accumulating other asses in case one breaks, the same way he's doing the Sigma Derby?
Good question.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Because that's the only functioning Crazy Girl ass statue in existence.
That's true.
So we've put together a bunch of deals. Quickly, package your dream day-night package.
There you go.
Oh, well, I'll go first then.
Okay.
So I was going to say these are all fun things to do, but as far as entertainment, it feels to me like the cheapest way is what we've been doing this whole time. We've been going since the 80s, which is you find stupid shit to do by yourself, and mostly, just on your own. It's walking around and looking at stuff, and that's always free. Like taking an eyeful, just walking around, seeing what's available, seeing what's around, interacting with people, and sometimes doing stupid pranks or just stupid things in general, like walking all the way to the South Point from downtown. Like these things is, I think, where the entertainment lies for me. It's not necessarily going to any show or anything like that. And also bringing a deck of cards and playing in the room. Can you set your own limits? I just want to make a plug for that.
So I'd be staying at the Downtown Grand. I think I would be getting up and having that omelet for breakfast. I'd hit the 7 free drinks at Circa throughout the day. Maybe get a burger at the parlor in the evening. I would head to Palms for some craps and maybe some blackjack. I would then go to the Aztec, play some penny video poker, and then the Dinos for a nightcap before some late night pie or steak and eggs at Jerry's.
That's a good day.
That's a very good day. Yeah. Mine, I think, is getting the absolute dirt cheapest room at the Strat. Just walk over to the Aztec, put in $5 into the video poker machine, play it all day, and drink all day, and don't eat anything, and then just go back to the Strat at the end of the day. That's my dream.
We didn't ask you how you do your trips now. We asked you how you do your dream trip. I guess you're living the dream.
I'm living the dream.
Living the dream.
Living the dream.
That's right.
All right. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us on the special edition of the Neon Gutter. We hope that you had a few laughs, learned a few things, and saved a few dollars for your next trip.
Get out there and do it. Get out there and take advantage of these.
Get out there and do it. Absolutely.
Show Vegas you appreciate these great deals so they keep them going.
Until next time, we'll see you down here in the Neon Gutter.
The cash won't last.
The Neon Gutter is a Big Empire production. Randy Shandis, executive producer. Our incredible theme music is courtesy of Rosin Coven. Do you have something to say? Call our voicemail line at 775-400-2941. And for more episodes, vintage photographs and video, contact info, and those amazing trip reports, visit us at neongutter.com.
Las Vegas haiku. Resort fees are dropped. Leeches only feed on one body for so long.